Do you feel like you don't fit into the traditional alpha or beta male categories? While most guys fall into these common types, there's a rare breed that doesn't quite fit either mold. Sure, there are more personality types beyond just alpha and beta, but the Sigma personality is definitely the rarest and most misunderstood. Being a Sigma isn't about wearing a trendy label. It's about understanding why you've always felt a bit different, why you do what you do, why you think the way you think. And you've probably spent your life feeling out of sync with the usual social rules. A Sigma male is someone who operates outside of traditional social hierarchies and thrives in their own independence and self-sufficiency. There are plenty of self-proclaimed Sigma males out there, but what exactly does it mean to be one? Here are 7 quick questions to see if you really have a Sigma personality. Number 1. Do others find you hard to figure out? It's not that you're trying to be a puzzle, but your way of thinking and acting doesn't fit the usual mold. As a Sigma male, you process things internally. When faced with new information or situations, you don't rush to discuss it with others. You just mull it over in your mind, working through the details privately before sharing your thoughts. This internal processing can make you seem mysterious to others. They might struggle to guess what you're thinking or how you'll react. It's not uncommon for people to tell you that you're hard to read or figure out. Your conversations tend to skip the small talk and dive straight into deeper topics. While others might chat about the weather, you're more interested in discussing big ideas or complex problems. This can catch people off guard, especially if they've underestimated you based on your quiet demeanor. In social situations, you're often the observer rather than the center of attention. You're taking in the dynamics, noticing the subtleties that others might miss. When you do speak up, your insights can be surprisingly spot on, leaving others wondering how you figured it out. This combination of internal processing, deep thinking, and keen observation can make you seem enigmatic to those around you. You're not trying to be hard to figure out. You're just being yourself. But in a world that often expects people to be easily categorized, your Sigma traits can make you stand out by not fitting in. Number 2. Do you place a high value on personal freedom and independence? As a Sigma, you probably find yourself craving freedom more than the average person. It's not just about doing what you want. It's about carving your own path, free from societal expectations. You might notice that you're not too keen on rigid schedules or micromanagement. The idea of someone else dictating your every move makes you feel trapped. So you thrive when you have the space to make your own decisions and set your own pace. This love for independence often shows up in your work life. You're likely drawn to jobs that offer flexibility or even self-employment. The traditional 9-to-5 grind is not really your style. You'd rather have control over your time and how you use it. In relationships, you appreciate having your own space. While you can form deep connections, you also need your personal space. You're not the type to lose yourself in a relationship or friend group. You maintain your identity and interests, even when you're part of a team. This independent streak can sometimes make others see you as aloof or detached. But it's not about pushing people away. It's about maintaining your sense of self and the freedom to make your own choices. You're not afraid to go against the grain or stand alone if it means staying true to yourself. While others might follow trends or popular opinion, you're comfortable forging your own way, even if it's the road less traveled. This high value on personal freedom isn't just a preference. It's a core part of who you are as a Sigma male. It's what drives you to challenge norms, think outside the box, and live life on your own terms. Number 3. Are you the guy who rarely posts on social media? While everyone else is busy curating their online personas, you're the guy who rarely posts anything. You might scroll through your feeds occasionally, but the idea of constantly sharing updates about your life feels unnecessary, even a bit invasive. Your friends are snapping selfies and checking in at every location, but you're more likely to be enjoying the moment without feeling the urge to share it. Your social media accounts, if you have them, are probably pretty bare. Maybe there's a profile picture from a few years ago and a handful of posts from when you first signed up. Your friends might joke about whether you're still alive on these platforms. This low-key online presence comes from valuing your privacy. You don't see the point in sharing every detail of your life with the world. Quality connections matter more to you than racking up likes and followers. Sometimes, your absence from social media might leave you feeling out of the loop. You might miss out on event invites or group chats, but the peace of mind and extra time are worth the trade-off. Your restraint online aligns with typical Sigma male traits. You're comfortable marching to the beat of your own drum, even if that means being less visible in the digital world. In an era of oversharing, your minimal online footprint stands out. This doesn't mean you're anti-technology or completely disconnected. You simply prefer to engage with the world on your own terms, prioritizing real-life experiences over virtual ones. Number 4. Do you prefer to work alone instead of being part of a team? Working solo just feels right for you. Given the choice between joining a team project or tackling something on your own, you'll choose independence every time. You trust your own judgment and methods. When you're in charge of your own work, you can set the pace, follow your process, and avoid the compromises that often come with group efforts. Group settings can be frustrating. Meetings that drag on, decisions by committee, explaining your ideas over and over. It all feels like wasted time. You'd rather just get down to business and make things happen. This doesn't mean you can't be a team player when needed. You can work well with others, but you often gravitate towards tasks you can complete independently. That's because you do your best work when given the freedom to control your own tasks and responsibilities. You deliver solid work without requiring constant check-ins or micromanagement. Some might see your preference for solo work as standoffish, but it's about efficiency and playing to your strengths. Working alone allows you to explore problems deeply without interruptions. You can spend hours examining different angles or perfecting details others might miss. Your desire for independent work isn't about being antisocial. It's about creating the best conditions for your productivity. You know how to make valuable contributions, and sometimes that means putting your head down and getting things done on your own terms. Number 5. Do you find most small talk painfully boring? Small talk feels like nails on a chalkboard to you. While others seem to thrive on chit-chat about the weather or last night's game, you're silently wishing for a more substantial conversation. You can easily engage in small talk when necessary, but it drains your energy quickly. You'd much rather dive into deep discussions about ideas, philosophies, or personal experiences. This might make you seem cold or uninterested to others, but it's just your nature as a Sigma male. You value depth and substance in your interactions, not superficial pleasantries. When people rumble on about mundane topics, you might find yourself drifting off or zoning out. Your mind wanders to more interesting topics, and you have to consciously pull yourself back to nod and smile at the right moments. This aversion to small talk can make some social situations challenging. Office parties, networking events, or casual gatherings can feel like minefields of boring conversations you'd rather avoid. You prefer conversations with substance. When you do find someone who can engage on a deeper level, you can talk for hours. These meaningful exchanges energize you, unlike the draining effect of surface-level chatter. Your dislike of small talk isn't about being rude or superior. It's simply that your mind craves more stimulating input. You're wired to seek out depth and meaning in interactions, not just to fill silence with words. This trait can sometimes make you seem aloof or disinterested to others. They might not realize that you're actually longing for a more engaging conversation. But for you, quality of conversation trumps quantity every time. It's about seeking connections that truly satisfy your intellectual curiosity. Number 6. Are you indifferent to social status and hierarchy? Sigma males don't put much stock in traditional power structures or social hierarchies. They're just not on their radar. While others are busy climbing the social ladder or worrying about their place in the pecking order, you're focused on your own path. You don't automatically respect someone just because they have a fancy title or an impressive bank account. For you, respect is earned through actions, ideas, and integrity, not handed out based on social position. You might find yourself treating the CEO and the janitor with the same level of respect. This can sometimes ruffle feathers, especially if others expect you to play by the usual hierarchical rules. You're not impressed by designer labels, luxury cars, or other status symbols. These things just don't factor into how you value yourself or others. You're more interested in a person's character and what they bring to the table. Sure, you appreciate nice things, but they don't define your worth or influence how you treat others. This indifference to social status can sometimes make you seem rebellious or uncooperative. But it's not about rejecting authority. It's about valuing people for who they are, not what they have. You don't seek attention or validation from others, so you're free to pursue what truly matters to you, without getting caught up in keeping up with the Joneses or impressing the right people. However, it can also lead to some awkward situations. You might inadvertently offend someone by not showing them the deference they expect based on their position. Your focus is on merit rather than status. You'll listen to anyone with a good idea, regardless of their rank. And you won't hesitate to challenge ideas you disagree with, even if they come from someone in a position of authority. This can sometimes be seen as a threat, but you're not trying to undermine anyone. You just have your own standards for what you respect and value. That's what makes you a true Sigma male. You are your own person, unbound by societal expectations and hierarchies. Number 7. Do you have a small circle of close friends rather than a large social network? Think about your friend group. Is it more like a tight-knit crew or a sprawling network? If you're leaning toward the former, you might be tapping into that Sigma vibe. Sigma males typically keep their circle small and exclusive. They value depth over breadth in relationships, focusing on a few key connections rather than a wide social net. You probably have a few ride-or-die friends who really get you. These are the people you can sit with in comfortable silence or dive into deep conversations at 2 a.m. They've earned your trust and loyalty, and you've earned theirs. Large gatherings or parties often feel draining. You prefer catching up with a friend over coffee or hanging out with your small group. Bigger social settings just don't give you the same satisfaction as more intimate interactions. Your approach to friendship is selective. You're not interested in collecting acquaintances or padding your social media friend count. Each person in your inner circle is there because they add real value to your life.